So you open up Terraria and get to making a new character for your next run. If you're new, you may see these difficulty options presented to you, and as you comb through them, you think to yourself that Journey and Classic mode are for children, but you don't think you're ready for Hardcore. And then, when you looked at Mediumcore, it reminds you of a certain other block game you played, and think to yourself, how hard can it be? Oh, you sweet, innocent child. But maybe you're not new, you're a seasoned veteran who's beaten Hardcore and Classic plenty of times. And on this particular day, you're looking at that medium core difficulty and racking your brain, trying to think of the last time you played with a medium core character. Wanting some more challenge, but not wanting the stress of hardcore, you select medium core. You've played this game a long time. Surely you won't die too often, and it won't be hard to get your stuff back anyways, right? You create your world and click start, and now you're playing on medium core. Getting started is just like any other time you start a new world. You chop down some trees without a care in the world, recklessly beginning the process of deforestation on your new and beloved planet with the copper axe you were born with. A blue slime approaches, a worthy adversary. But you dispatch him like the joke that he is and get right back to chopping down trees when a purple slime approaches. Ah, indeed. Now we get to the fun part. The blue slime was too easy for you, but this purple slime is just tanky enough to be a threat. Stabbing it relentlessly, you come out victorious once again, and you're already drunk on power as you have now defeated a total of 2 slimes. Truly, you are invincible. Why don't you always play on medium core, you wonder? This is no biggie, you can defeat whatever comes your way. High on your own horse, you explore the surface while the sun still shines in hopes of finding a nearby cave. After swimming past a small lake, you stumble across this accursed purple grass. Despite your overestimation of your own skill, you still know you have absolutely nothing you need to be prepared for the soul-sucking little blokes who will float up to you and eat your face. So you head back to whence you came, walking like some sort of average Joe because you still haven't found any recall potions. There has to be a natural cave to the right side of the world, you think. There's always a cave near spawn whenever you make a large world. It's basically a guarantee. Well, you'd be wrong, because on the right side of the world is the desert. And at first, you think, that isn't that bad. I can chop down a few cactuses on the outskirts and make myself some cactus gear and be well on my way. But the game isn't going to take it that easy on you, because as you approach, you notice a vulture and an antlion just waiting for your arrival. You deign to approach and collect just enough cactus to get yourself maybe a sword before you have to head back to spawn to figure out what you're going to do without your natural cave. You think that maybe there's something in this little hole in the ground, but sure enough, you're out of luck. And as you return to the surface, this bloke has decided he is angry at you after all, and isn't interested in waiting for you to die before making a delicious meal out of you. So with your new little friend, you make your way back home on your tiny little slow legs with a vulture following you all the way home. But you know what you're doing, so you're going to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, or wood block as you would have it, and make yourself a house while also protecting yourself from the pesky vulture. This gives you the opportunity to make your cactus sword, and since you're still an overconfident little punk, you try your luck and kill the bird, instead of letting it despawn naturally as you start digging straight down in the hopes of finding a cave since World Gen is not on your side. And before you continue, you realize that you've been doing this entire thing live for an audience that really wants nothing more than to see a fish on camera. So you decide to have a little bit of fun with them and say that if the live stream gets 100 likes, that you will actually get a fish and set up a camera so they can have a fish cam. Turns out the joke is on you. Now they've actually given you 100 likes on this live stream, and you're a man of your word.
So here he is, look at that little fish.
You find yourself a little opening, and bam, life returns to your eyes as you are once again filled with hope that you won't be left without a single cave near spawn. But then that hope is dashed upon the rocks because that tiny little opening you found isn't a cave at all as much as it is a crawl space. So you get back to digging straight down because day 1 is obviously the best time to create a elevator. It's at this point you realize you've already run out of torches because you haven't had any pots to break to give you some of the free torches, and you only killed a couple slimes during the daytime, so you've already run out of gel and can't make any torches. But what else are you supposed to do since by now it's already nighttime, and you have no equipment with which you can survive the hordes of zombies? So now you're stuck digging in the dark, pulling out your torch every here and there to give you just enough light to make sure you're still digging in the right direction. The fall of a couple blocks makes you realize you found another cave. But this could just be another crawl space like you discovered before, so you explore it a little, and Angel's Chorus. It's a minecart track. Early game, these things might as well be literal gold mines, since just about any time you ride one, you're bound to find something good. Without a moment's hesitation, you create a minecart out of thin air, like some sort of god, and start riding in a random direction, just to immediately come upon your first treasure chest. Congratulations, you have done it. You have found your first treasure chest without dying even once, and on top of that, it's a golden one, so you know you're going to get something good. You expertly drain the flooded treasure room and finally get to claim your prize. It's a cloud in the bottle. Truly, your skill is impeccable. Only the best gamers could get such RNG. Ignore the fact that your world is absolute garbage, you know exactly what you're doing, and that is why you got a cloud in a bottle. You go down to the end of the railroad and find a gold deposit waiting for you on the other side. Who needs a naturally generated cave when you have your kind of luck? You go to the far left and don't think you found anything interesting, so you mine some silver for the heck of it and drop down into an area with a heart crystal in it. Outstanding. 20 more health and you've basically entered God mode. You return home to make a furnace and place an anvil you found in the treasure room and forget to craft anything with the gold and silver you found, but not because you're forgetful, but because you're a pro gamer who doesn't need that stuff. You finally got some rope, and since jumping down the hole isn't an option, you place down some rope in your little elevator. It's at this moment you realize you didn't even find a big open cave, but only a long narrow minecart track with some loot alongside it. So now you have to resume mining straight down. But it doesn't take much mining for you to come upon another opening with 2 jellyfish swimming around, giving you just enough light to spot a heart crystal awaiting you. There's also a handy dandy gold deposit right next to it because you deserve it. Now you know at the angle you've mined and the positioning of the heart crystal that you'll likely be killed by the jellyfish if you dove right in. So you wisely place down some rope instead, so you have an easier escape route. Well, that's no issue at all. You only died a short ways away, and you placed rope down. Wait a minute. There's no rope down the hole you just dug. But that's okay. You're a smart little gamer. You remember that there's a few edges in the side of the hole you dug, so you can probably negate most of the fall damage by hitting these ledges and make it all the way to the bottom no problem. This time, you know what to expect, so you chomp down one tree so you'll have something to work with next time. The second death doesn't even really count anyways, because you were just trying to get your stuff back and weren't concerned with dying. You've basically only died once, and that's fine. You'll probably only die a few times during the entire run, so you might as well get one of those deaths out of the way early. Being the pro gamer that you are, you know that you can ready your cursor at your character's feet and periodically place platforms against the tunnel you dug and safely navigate yourself to the bottom and retrieve all of the shiny things. And not only that, but you get the heart crystal you were after without any problems and go around the body of water to continue searching for a cave. Who needs to drop off some of their stuff when they're as good as you? You quickly come across a second treasure room and find yourself another cloud in the bottle. An average gamer might be disappointed that he didn't get a different accessory that he didn't have before. But your big brain is much bigger than the average gamer's. You know that you can use this as a backup cloud in the bottle and keep it in a treasure chest at home. So when you die maybe 1 or 2 more times during the course of the entire run, you'll have a backup cloud in the bottle to use to retrieve the cloud in the bottle you lost. Truly, you are the smartest of gamers. You might think that you would return home at this point, to put that cloud in a bottle away and save storage like you planned, but that's not what true gamers do. No, you press on, continuing your search for a bigger cave with reckless abandon. Your big braininess is quickly proven because you find yourself yet another chest of loot. The only problem is that the mother of all slimes is defending it and you only have a cactus sword. So, like a genius, you slowly make a safe path downwards and trap the queen slime in a little box and loot the chest without any issues at all, while also creating a safe space for yourself inside the treasure room. And what should be awaiting you other than a magic mirror? It might not be the best thing you could have asked for, but now you'll have 2 ways of getting home. You can leave the recall potions at home alongside your extra cloud in a bottle, so you can have increased mobility and a way to return home, even if you happen to die again. Now it's finally time to go home and put your stuff away in a chest, but not because you're afraid of dying or need to play it safe, no, but because your inventory was getting full and you need to put stuff away so you can collect more stuff. And that stuff you need to collect is, of course, in the sky. You have no armor and hardly any means of defending yourself at all, but you know what you're doing, so searching the skies won't be a problem at all. If you can find yourself a floating island this early in the game, then you can set yourself up with some OP gear. It doesn't take long for you to find the first sky island, and you expertly dodge the zombie that just so happened to be waiting for you up there. And with that out of the way, it's time to loot your first chest. Will it be the horseshoe, making you immune to fall damage, the shiny red balloon to increase your jump height, the star fury, which rains heavenly justice from above, or the incredibly rare fledgling wings? Truly devastating. You found this island quickly, and your gravitation potion still has some life left in it. Surely you can find another floating island before time runs out. If the first chest had a celestial magnet, then surely the next one would have treasure that you actually want.
Dang, we got nothing good from that gravity potion. That sucks. This world sucks.
But you don't need anything good from your world anyways. You're an expert gamer, and you know what you're doing. You've already found 3 treasure chests when the world didn't give you a naturally generated cave to explore. You'll be fine. You'll just find more treasure underground, and sure enough, you find yourself a second minecart track. Finally, something has gone well once again. You speed along the rail like it's NASCAR, but your eye catches sight of a water chest sitting in plain sight. Not expecting much, you open it up and get the flippers. Sure, it's not the water walking boots, and a trident would actually be helpful at this stage in the game. But you're just grateful it isn't an inner tube or shark bait, so you'll take it. You head down the rest of the minecart track and start digging, only to suddenly find a need to make a tactful retreat. It's at this point that you decide you're going to use a golden pickaxe from now on, because it's more shiny than your copper pickaxe. Plus, you're going to mine all the expensive shiny stuff underground like an absolute beast. Now you've gotten yourself some more ore. Nice. But you're bored of searching underground for something good, so you decide you're going to navigate the corruption with ease. After all you need to do is find the first hole, throw a few bombs, and retrieve your musket.
Oh, nuggets.
No matter, you know how to do some sick Terraria parkour, and this was simply a setup so you could expertly show the best way to get out of a hole without any problems. Not making an easy rope down there won't bite you in the back in the future at all. At this point, some Eater of Souls decide to join you, but you can easily get around them and jump into the second hole, which will surely have... Okay, let's try this again. The last attempt doesn't really count anyways. The third hole should have...
Oh, come on!
Third tries a charm, and this time, you're not going to be fooled by a false pit. You're going to find the one that leads you directly to the corrupt cave. First, you have to make it to the 4th hole in line, and then you... But this is no matter. You expertly saved your spare cloud in a bottle, and can easily use it to outmaneuver the pesky Eaters of Souls and retrieve your lost gear. Ah yes, all too easy. But the corruption has bored you now. Yes, you think it is interesting enough to go there again, so you return to searching the underground caves for loot, and this enticing deposit of lead is just what you need to lay the foundation for a lead armor set in the future. No need to concern yourself with tiny details like the tiny little unthreatening bats that fly around these caves. That's no problem at all. You put the extra cloud in a bottle away last time, so you wouldn't have any issues with retrieving your stuff again. But it's not until you get there that you realize you need a little bit more than an extra jump in order to get your stuff. This oversight won't stop you, however, so you mine some of the nearby stone with your pickaxe that magically generated in your hand upon respawning.
That's
Having the extra cloud in a bottle was too much of a crutch anyways. You would much prefer to get the stuff the old-fashioned way, with just a little bit of wooden platforms and the starting gear you're gifted every time you respawn. And dying this many times, what does it really do to you? It only sets you back a little bit and you can still get the stuff easily enough. Plus, you've discovered the infinite money farm, since if you keep on dying, you can sell the copper gear you start with for at least 2 silver. So it's not like there's any real issue with dying. Plus, this time, your extra big braininess spots a far easier way to retrieve your equipment that you missed last time. You see, having the crutch of a cloud in a bottle made you search for a more complicated resolution to a simple problem. But now you found the best way to retrieve your gear, so you expertly mine a few blocks straight down and equip a cactus sword just in time to prevent another little bat from stealing all your gear. Now it's time to retrieve the extra cloud in the bottle you left behind.
I couldn't see the gosh darn slide! No!
Just remember that you asked for this, and this increased difficulty is something you genuinely enjoy. You're not some average classic enjoyer who only loses some money. No, you're a real Terrarian who set the game to Minecraft difficulty. I mean, Mediumcore. But you expertly retrieve your stuff once again and return home without any issues. You think to yourself that you can return to the corruption at this point, and this time, you won't have any issues. So you hop down the 4th hole you saw earlier and... Who needs the corruption anyway? Surely we're ready for the desert. In fact, early game cactus armor is pretty good, so you get yourself some more cactus with ease, and get decked out with the most beautiful set of armor you've ever seen. Now the corruption doesn't stand a chance against you.
Oh...
Just a silly mistake. You can easily retrieve the gear. After all, it was the first hole. What possible problem could arrive when there's such a short distance between? But it's still close, and you can easily retrieve your cloud in a bottle. Once you get that accessory, instead of getting the rest of your stuff a short distance away, you decide to press on. And you do this not because you totally forgot the rest of your stuff was in the first hole, but because you want to prove you don't need it to navigate the corruption. And you would be able to too, if it wasn't for the stupid worm. On the return trip, you get cornered by an Eater of Souls and wander into the side cave, and it isn't until you're a good ways into it that you realize you don't have any torches, and thus no means with which to see what is around you, and thus you have no way of returning to the surface. So you can jump down the hole and get your gear. But you are an expert gamer, so you blindly wander around hoping that you'll fall off a ledge, but instead you find a secret tunnel that leads you directly into the area you were trying to get into forever ago. Only this time, you don't have any way of destroying the orbs. So you die on purpose this time and return back to the hole and get your stuff. Nice. Now you can go. The only option is to keep on running for it and hoping for the best, but these little suckers just ain't having it. You finally make it part of the way there into the side cave, and this time you are armed with some torches, so you can light up the side tunnel and expertly discover some treasure that will aid you in the retrieval of your gear. And now that you have it, you at long last destroy a shadow orb and get the musket your American heart has been craving. Now that you're basically invincible, you can trek across the desert and, like Indiana Jones, you uncover a buried temple and raid it for all that it's worth. As you continue eastward, you find a living tree, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another until you find at least 7 living trees giving you a finch staff, several wooden boomerangs and spears, and an abundance of early game loot. You are truly a professional Terrarian, and even though the world seed ripped you off at the start, all you had to do was brave through it for a little while to discover the vast wealth that was just a short ways away. And with your first day done, you breathe a heavy breath and think to yourself, Mediumcore isn't going to be that bad at all. Right?